I'm focused on this one. That's the next leg higher. If they can take out the prior fail from yesterday, they can get to here. So the upside potential mathematically, if we break that out, I'm going to estimate it 30% of 0.4. So 0.15% extra on the SPY. Trump is about to speak. What else is he going to say? We solved world peace. We solved the tariffs. We solved. We're paying to get immigrants out of the country. What else is he going to say? What else? Buy stocks with triple leverage ETF. Is he going to say buy TQQQ? Buy Saudi stocks? No, the tariff can has been kicked 90 days. So we don't need to say the word tariff, thank God, for another 90 days or maybe 70 days. When there's 65 days, they'll start bringing it back up. Oh, we're approaching the deadline of the tariff deals. Do we have a deal? No, that we don't. No, we do. He's smiling. We might have a deal. The NASDAQ rising wedge has a bearish harmonic, of course. If we do get a red tick, it might bring us back down to 21,000. 175 points lower. If it does take in some red ticks right here. It's a rising wedge. It's also a harmonic. It's an extreme one. I like those shapes, but it's hard to do when you look left, and it's been a while since we've been here. So the resistance that you would short against it on such a thing is pretty far back. So it's pretty hard to count on it as like effective. The older the level is, the less effective it is, like surgically effective. It becomes a zone. I forgot what that pink line was. Oh my God. Okay, so this is a while back, months and months ago. We had one of the largest ghost candles after hours, and it after that became a battle zone for a long time. Tell me they're not going to just cut right through it like it's not there. My goodness, this is look at the bottom middle right. They're coming after yesterday's high on the XLs. Be careful. Alphabet recovered and is joining the party. The XLF wants to break out of 51.35. What do we need? What we need is Coca-Cola and Kroger to recover. That's what we need. And the XLV. Let's go. It's a party. Then we will get an all-time high today or tomorrow. I'm not joking about that. I should move this way. Is someone talking? No, the rally was ongoing. Yeah, somebody's talking. It's NVIDIA. 130 was the target of any day. If you look back 30 days, 130 is it's a typical move. 588 GEX. Well, we're there now, right? Yeah. 586 is what I'm seeing on the GEX. I don't know where you see 88. That's tiny. 88. It's barely zero. It's 200 on the 586. Let me look at the options. We're buried in the options. Downside pressure everywhere. Downside pressure everywhere. The highest puts transacted are miles below here. What is going on? I have too many questions to have conviction in anything. If I'm holding calls, I'm out like a light at the risk of missing out. If I'm holding puts, I should manage my risk accordingly. If I sold credit call spreads, I want to see what happens here in this zone. I can argue all-time highs in 2 days, even though I think it's wrong to do, but very attainable. We are now within 2 to 3% of an all-time high. I'm air mathing it right there. 4. On the SPX, the ES might be a little bit different. That's the high tick of the morning on whatever CPI information. Bitcoin is not as happy as the stock market. Bitcoin was happy first, so the stock market caught up to Bitcoin and now has surpassed it. No let up, pedal to the metal. Nice work. Remember, guys and girls, it doesn't count until it hits the bank, right? Anybody trimming anything, or is it just calling out percentages with no trimming? Yeah, the VIX is stabilized. There's definitely weird things going on. And the VIX definitely stabilized, and now the VIX futures are stabilizing. I don't have a level to show you on the left because there's nothing recent, and I would have to zoom out to higher time frames. So it's a rising wedge, and it's going to go for as long as the rhetoric and sentiment is feeling. You're still in, nothing out. That's pretty ballsy. I got to hand it to you. Good or bad, it's not my risk profile. 590 coming. Yeah, but we're like an inch away from 590. You won't even take one off? You're still all in? That's a lot of conviction. Makes me want to sell the 590. In fact, I'm going to do it right now. I'll do it in the SPX so I don't have to babysit it. Somebody's asking, is it a very positive CPI report? I can't imagine it is positive. It's about feelings, like how it is versus the expectations. I don't know. I didn't look at it. You tell me. If you guys are looking for reasons why the market is rallying, I think you're wasting your time. Better effort spent managing risk. Who cares why? Oh, these are nice. I'm closing sold puts and credit put spreads all over. Rod, you and me, that's what I said in the morning note. Today, I'm closing the winners, selling some shorts, and waiting. I need conviction. I don't have conviction. If I go long here, I feel like a dumbass, just like the whole world, chasing sentiments. Nothing has changed. The fundamentals, in fact, got worse. We have a negative GDP now. I'm not trading that. I'm trading sentiment. It's too happy. Buffett coming out here today would not be buying stocks, right? So if I'm an investor that uses trading strategy to accumulate positions in the stock market, or if I'm a swing trader, this here is not an obvious entry point from a slow trader. The momentum traders, I said that yesterday and Sunday night. Momentum traders, okay, do your thing. If you don't know you're a momentum trader or not, you probably aren't. So stick to the slower trades. The obvious entry points are not up here. I say that with complete confidence. They're not up here. At the risk of missing out a couple of bucks, they're not up here. The VIX stabilized, and so did the VIX futures. That did not happen at any point in time yesterday. So that's a slightly different behavior than yesterday. So this is test number one, 587.5. Test number one for the bears. 587.5. I'll put a line on it. It should be a breeze for the bulls to take it out and get to 88.4. That's what's at stake. Those two yellow lines. I guess three now. The upper two yellow lines. Because the first yellow line would be the top of the white box, which is the high poke candle of the morning. I'll be right back, folks. One second. I'll be on mute. Okay. Test passing. If we lose the pink line, they pass the test. If I had a credit call spread here, I wouldn't roll it. Okay. The next stop should be 586.23 if they confirm losing the pink. 586.23. Anytime you have a situation where you're saying, I'm always having a problem, back out of what you're doing. What is a harami candle? We talked about it the other day. I thought it was an Arabic word. It is an Arabic word, but it turns out they mean it in Japanese. Something about an inside candle of sorts. So how much weight do I put in it? It is a clue. I'll give you a picture, or I'll give you an explanation. 10 seconds. So, for example, you have one candle, and then the second candle, something along those lines. So if we had a trend going up and one candle is like this and the second candle is completely inside the first candle, for me, that's a start paying attention to what happens next. I'm not on mute. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay. So Tom, I'm not on mute. I guess the test has not been passed because although they went below the pink, they didn't hold below the pink. So now that yellow line is still important. That one. 587.4. So breaching a line, that's how you confirm it. You come back and and lose it again. So they have 10 minutes to prove that they want to create a top for the day. I'm focused on the VIX and the VIX futures as well, because that's an important clue from yesterday. It was a sign of weakness all day for the markets. Yeah, so Tom, I'm saying the harami is a clue. A lot of people swear by it. I've said it before. So if you know NR4 and NR7, that's along the same way. So if you're looking at haramis, make sure you look at NR4 and NR7. TradingView has automatic NR4s and 7s, but it's just too many of them. It basically says if you're going in a trend up or down, in this case up, and then you get a candle that looks like this, and then the next candle is completely inside the first candle. So now maybe this is a place where they want to change. But to me, that also may be consolidation. So it's part of the clues. It's not, nothing works all by itself. Even the harmonics, they don't just work by themselves. The only thing that kind of works by itself is the wolf wave. But even then, you need confirmation of sorts, corroboration. This right here, the next 5 minutes here, the next 7 to 10 minutes, super important, like super important. Look at Alphabet. What? Are you kidding me? I mean, I don't have a problem with the stock rallying. I have the problem with the dumbassery of the investors that are in that stock. Check out this price action on one of the most boring companies in a good way. So it comes out of the blocks, green collapses to super red while other stocks are rallying, and then it comes back and beats the high. So I can only imagine that headline broke out at some EU fine or something here. You will find it. Antitrust, was that minutes ago? Faces 12 antitrust lawsuits in Europe. There we go. So where is the conviction in a beautiful company like this? When I say beautiful, boring is beautiful. I mentioned Microsoft this morning because I see a tick at, now it's gone. Did we get to it? 452 something, 452.40 on Thinkorswim on Microsoft before the market opened. "24 hours ago, we were at 565. If you need a level check. Man, this does not bode well for the Bears. They can't blink, and they're blinking. They need to get down to 586.5 or 0.55. Them messing around above that pink line makes me nervous. I have a sold call for today. So let's see. The XLF has a bearish harmonic and it's against yesterday's fails. So drum roll there. I'll put it down. It's more important than Microsoft all by itself. So the bearish harmonic is on a different time frame, but you can look left and you can see that's where they failed yesterday, and it has 5-minute and 15-minute harmonics. So what are the harmonics? It's just a fancy word for rising wedge, something that goes up in like a very sharp pizza slice, is vulnerable for dips. It won't be game enders. Like even if you give up half, that's normal price action. But I wish we can just go back to normal price action. Hell, I'll take abnormal price action. This is like super duper extra abnormal price action on the way up and on the way down. More likely on the way up in the last 10 days, 14 days. Coca-Cola, south, yes. So I would love it if Coke would lose 68.7. 68 something, 7 would open the trap door for it. I only have a runner left. I locked my profits. It was sizable, so no need to be greedy. I practice what I preach. So I have a problem here. Let's see here, 587. The narrative on the 5-minute chart looks a lot more bullish than what we're looking at. So just to let you know, we're focused on 15-second chart. It kind of looks like an even fight, but it isn't. Okay, zoom out. You will see how uneven this fight is. In case you want a visual, I'll give you a visual. Give me a minute. I want to give you a perspective. If you're playing the bearish side, you need to be aware of what you're fighting. One of the biggest cocaine bull, this is a different one. This one is a Narcan bull. They woke up from the overdose and now they want more drugs. This is where we are. This is where we were. And if I still cannot book my calls after this rally, I must have a thesis. I can't be doing it on momentum alone. The music will stop and there will be only a few chairs for the people to sit. And a lot of people are going to be holding bags. Lock, lock, lock. Or balance. How do you balance? If you long a bunch of stocks and you're making money and you see more upside, short short the market, like out in time, very safely. I'll give you an idea. Anything I sold in the last couple of weeks that are 6 months out, 3 months out, 2 months out. That'll not be shorting the market. You'll be just balancing your book. But most people are one-sided. They see a strategy, they hop on board, and they do one thing. So if you're wrong, you're wrong. You can't be a little bit right. Like there's no way my portfolio should be flattish this week, flattish green. The only reason it is because I'm balancing my books. I'm long this, short that, and the other. I have one trade under fire, and that's for this week, and it's in the small caps, which are the weakest today. So lucky me. Is it okay, like a bear call spread? It is statistically orange, glowing. If I have it this morning, I'm not backing out right now. If I'm holding a put and I didn't get out yet, if I'm holding a bear call spread and I didn't get out yet, or if I'm opening a bear call spread now, I'm okay. Not doing anything for the next few minutes until I see if we're going to get to 586.5 or not. 586.5 might bring 585.9. 586.2 for sure, I think is what I said. There is plenty of options transacting way below current price, way below. Caution for the bulls. A lot of bulls are too bullish, but I can't tell them that. All right, sold calls are paying. Thank you. Yeah, please do. Oh my gosh. Talk about distracting. All right, just for the record, the heaviest transacted options, not calls or puts, the heaviest options transacted are miles below here. Yesterday, was it yesterday when I said there was $27 million transaction at 580 for June? 40,000 transactions, yearly close to the number of contracts that JP Morgan had sold at 5905 SPX, 5905 SPX, short 40,000 transactions. They're down about 30% of those. You got permission for Vegas? What? Let's go. Do you need a link? No, you don't need a link. Okay. So I'm driving. Where do you live? Louisville. That's a long drive. I'll swing by and pick you up. So here's what Alphabet tells me yesterday. I don't want to say the word, my phone will wake up. I was looking up directions to see what route to take and what time to leave and all of that. It says I can get there in 4 hours and 10 minutes in the car or 4 days on foot or a day on a bicycle? Is that right? A day on a bicycle? Uh, 280? No, I'm not trying it. Oh, me average 20 miles an hour for a day straight? I doubt it. E-bike, it will die. You have to be fit. You know, we have a bicycle racer among us. He looks 50 and he's 71 or 2. Blue, I couldn't believe it. I've met him twice. I couldn't believe it. Plus the heat, yeah, Vegas, no joke. Okay, so we are entering 586, which should present some support. Look left. Let's see what happens on the bounce. Yesterday, the difference was the bounces made a higher high. So they failed to make a higher high once. Let's see if they fail to do it again. Okay, so they put the dollar. I saw a headline about the deal that they just talked about in the news between us and Saudi Arabia. You weren't kidding about that. They put the dollars, all the zeros for impact. They put 600, is that 9 zeros? 600 billion? Is that what it is? Plus, they put decimal points. What kind of an asinine person would do that? They put decimal points on a 600 billion. It's more bigger. I had to tag him back on that one. Bigly. So if we lose 585.70, we will go to 584.60. You heard the if underline bold blinking neon. If we lose this area, we should go to this area. Let's talk colors. We will go to the blue if we lose the yellow circle. Lose this. Target. If. And look what's inside. We are inside that 1 second candle. Everything inside that one box was 1 second spike this morning. Now, I would say there's a threat of making a higher high. I put the odds very low compared to yesterday. Let me say it again. I put the odds very low compared to the price action from yesterday for a lot of reasons. The simplest reason is that the VIX today is acting differently than yesterday. I don't think we have the same behavior today. From here. The sold calls paid. I said I would go out and sell the calls. They paid. If I had a bear call spread that is under fire, I should use data to help me decide what to do with it. So I got 2 or 3 people reaching out to me. What do I do with this? What do I do with that? Like when they tell me what it is, I go to the delta to see the odds. I go to the time frame, and then the question is, what is your account like? So that's the second question. If my account is bullish, this and that and the other, and I have a couple of credit call spreads on fire, I don't do anything. They're doing their job. They're taking a beating so I can stay long the other things, right? This is like insurance. You pay insurance, you know your premiums are going to zero because you hope you don't crash your car. So insurance, if it's balanced trades you took, they're designed to take a beating. All right, I need to free up some cash. I'm going to close some longs. The one long I closed is the XLV. I do not trust that sucker. It's a winner. I will close it. I don't know if you followed me into it, but it was a long we did a while back. It was part of a buy a call, sell a put spread. I can't even find it where I posted it. I don't even remember where. When I did it, I should say. Hello. Do I mind adding the buy sell signal on the SPX? Yeah. Bottom right. I wish TradingView gives me the ability to turn off drawings by quadrant. Are you here, TradingView? Can you make that happen? What do you mean? I don't know where to look today. Holy cow, left and right. questions are coming in from all angles. And by that, I mean, I don't mind the number of questions. It's not unusual. But the type of questions, like some people are stuck long. Some people are into sold calls that are in the money. Some people are trying to sell a put spread, chasing this rally. It's a very, very weird market. So let's bring this over to here. This is the drum roll for the VIX. Yesterday, this is where the VIX would go poop, make a lower low. 17.65 is the low of the day. Let's see if they can take it to 17.5. Options. The biggest gamma is 5915 on the SPX, and it is large, substantial, respected. They want to go to 5915 on the SPX. If you're short, reevaluate your situation with puts, the people that are holding puts. If you're holding a sold call or a call spread, be prepared to take some heat. NVIDIA cracked 130, 129.95 was my target for it based on the average range back 30 days on NVIDIA. It broke out before anything. It was green, very green, when the whole market was flattish red. Actually, it was red. When the market was red, it was green. So on the downside, we have heavyweights pulling down, XLV ready to drop a little bit more. That's why I closed my longs. We have KR and KO trying to hold the floor. We have Bitcoin looking to drop harmonics. XLF and Bitcoin look kind of the same, and they both have downside potential. That's a better way of wording it. And we have big caps taking the market to 59.15. Be ready to see the face of 40,000 calls from JP Morgan in the next few minutes. Palantir debit put spread right now. You can. June is fine. The reason I say be ready to do that is because TradyTix is telling me the negative gamma is at 59.15 and it's minus 900. This early in the day, that is extremely large. The 515 SPY the 515 QQQ gamma is screaming, which is where we are. So that's been settled. The SPY gamma is tiny. I wouldn't look at it. I'm going to look through my gamma. I can't even, the only negative gamma I have is miles and miles below here. So I think we're going to big burst or big drop in the next 30 minutes. Something big. Maybe a headline breaks out to cause them to go way up or way down. There's no way we stay stalled. We're either going up 25 points, so $2.50 on the SPY, so $5.90, or give back 5 or 6 or 7 SPY dollars. So go back to the low 580s. The reason why it's so much further down because of how fast we went up. There's just the weak structure. The IWM is in balance. It doesn't need to do anything. Options. The QQQ, they need to drop $3, but it's hard to see. The SPY needs to drop $3 to $5. 3 would be okay. 5 would be amazing. But there is, let me give you numbers. 35,000 puts transacting at 580. That's the same number that we had $27 million transact a couple of days ago. The SPX calls 4,900 at 5,900. That is the highest options leg on my screen within striking distance of current price. So that's a large magnet right there. And resistance too, if you get there, if you think about it. It's anybody's game from here. Drum roll. Very exciting. Risk 100 to make 400. That's okay. You're risking 100 to make 400. So the price of this spread is 100 for June. A 110 put is $100. Wait, I don't understand. That is a debit put spread. You're buying a put spread. How much does it cost? You say risk 100 to make 400. I don't get that. It is $1. What's the delta on that? That looks pretty cheap. $6 on the contract. Okay, I'm gonna go check it out. I don't know what you're saying. June 20th. It's 28, the answer. The delta is 28. Wait, 110 you said. 110, the delta is 20. That's too low. If you did 10, you spent 1,000, I would put 5 where it's double the delta. No, that is not the correct delta. That is what the account is showing you. The delta lives in the options chain, not on the account tab. The odds lives in the options chain. The delta is 0.2. 0.21 at this moment. We must have had a red tick. There's a column in your options chain, not in your accounts tab. Yep. It's 0.21, is it not? So for next time, instead of doing 10 for $1,000, I would do 5 for $1,000 with double the odds, meaning around 118, not 110. Same amount of money at risk, double the odds of winning. Why wouldn't you do that? We're talking about Palantir, but the comments could be on anybody. If I'm risking money to buy something, why would I want to buy crap? Sell crap, exactly. You want to sell losing lottery tickets. Come get your tickets. Come get your tickets. This is a really important battle. I'm not saying anything, but it's damn important right now. The whole day depends on it. 59.15 is what the market wants. They usually get it. In this environment, I would be shocked if they don't try to get it. 5915 SPX. Why would I say that? Look around you. There's not a red thing in sight. Nothing. NVIDIA should be at 190 if the market is at all-time highs. It is weird that it isn't. I interpret that in two ways. People know that the growth rate is going to start to slow down. That would justify it. Or the market is overpriced. That is also a fact from a PE perspective. The SPY is twice the normal size. Either way, there needs to be normalization. Take NVIDIA to its highs and take the market to 700. Or bring the market back down to the 400s so that NVIDIA can be the leader mathematically. Because it doesn't make sense the way it is right now. They're half in, half out. We need to be closer to 700 if NVIDIA were to price properly. Do the math. Palantir, 100 times sales, more. NVIDIA, 20? 19? Maybe now more because it spiked. All right. I'm bored. Show me something. I'll show you something. Hold on. A pop to 587.50 and a drop to 587.10. That's what I see. No need putting it on the chart. That's a very short-term comment. This long stick from this morning, it broke all the technicals. Now the harmonics won't show up. They will need a few hours for it to burn off, like for it to disappear behind us. The only thing that I can say is that the shape of the day rally, like the opening rally, we did this, we dropped a little bit, that's here, and now we're rising a little bit. If this doesn't take that out, we might hunt point D, which speaks to that circle. So I'm not going to draw it because I already said it, and that's what we're watching for, this battle here. Pop, break into a higher high, into the yellow part. Let's make that green so we can speak to it. So get to the green line or go to the blue circle is my take from here. And we have a few minutes to decide that. Green line, blue circle. What did I say? Did we roll? Roll what? You're just going to have to tell me what you have. I don't take every trade I mention. 5,900, not time to roll. But you said you have multiple ones. So stop selling credit call spreads, please, until you burn off one of them. If you're stuck in a credit call spread, don't take the next one I mentioned. You're already stuck in one, or close the bad one and open the better one. You essentially will be rolling your risk. Rolling is, okay, so I took a position based on science, so I should use science to manage my decision. The delta of that sold call at 5,900 is 30. So the odds are still in the seller's favor, more than, two parts. So 70-30. That's a simple way of looking at it. And but I have information from TradeEthics that tells me 59.15 is where they want to go. I don't see that information on my screen. I see transactions that are way below current price. So they're either right or I'm right. Either way, we're not staying here. So we're either at the green line on top or in the blue circle on the bottom in the next hour. How about that? So the tiebreaker could be the VIX. Yesterday, the VIX it would curl up like this, trying to establish a bottom. The VIX futures straight down. And then the VIX out of nowhere, boop, new low. And we'll go down with the VIX futures. Well, today, the VIX has curled up. The VIX futures have bounced and looking like this. This is different than yesterday. That's the only thing I can say emphatically. The VIX behavior, the quote fear, the concern in the SPY a month out, that's what the VIX represents, is acting differently than yesterday so far. In addition, on YouTube, you can't see these drawings. We have a higher low, lower high trend coming into a tiny fish mouth. If I use these markers, you can see it. So energy goes from this wide, pop, drop. And that's just imminent. So if you're in calls and you want to lock the pop, I would lock as we approach 5. I would have locked. Okay, so if you're one that's shooting for 590, live or die, go for it. You might get it, but I personally would forego the extra if I had an unbelievable day. What is that? Bird in the hand? Oh wait, gargoyle in the hand. We don't shoot birds here. We don't kill birds. Birds are beautiful. If you're watching on YouTube, we do this live every day, all day. We have about 240 people usually in the room. You're welcome to join us. You can try it out. You don't like it, you can cancel. I don't ask for much. If you're in Vegas, come meet me. I'll be in Vegas Thursday, Friday. Drum roll. 587.30 will, like, if we even approach the yellow line, it should be super easy to go to the green line. Like, super easy. What else do you need? The president says, go, buy shares, buy stocks. Literally, I don't think I've ever heard that before. Wait, I think Obama said that once. We had a president that said that before. Maybe it was Trump in 2016. I don't know. Somebody said, go out, buy stocks. I can't remember. You said it. Next time you got to stand on the higher soapbox. The XLP, lower low. Please take XKR with you. Please. Thank you very much. Asking for a friend. Team. I'm closing the team trade. It's for July. I don't need to keep it open for pennies. If it's a large position and it's in a smaller account, you might want to free up some cash. It's not providing any hedge. 11 days on the clock. We made most of it. 66 days left on the clock. No sense of keeping it open. What the heck was that? What the heck was that? Oh. There was like a pop and a drop right there. Ooh-wee. This is getting interesting. These are 15-second candles. Most people don't see that stuff. Let's break it down into further candles. Don't react. These are 1-second candles. Let's see if we can get some information out of them. I don't know what's going on with TradingView. It's bothering the hell out of me. Okay, now we're stuck again. Look at how much we missed. Freaking TradingView. $587.15. Okay, I'm starting to really get annoyed by the lag on TradingView. I may break my window and restart it. Because I have another window open of TradingView and it has no lag. Maybe I'll do that. Okay. Switching windows. But this one does not have the side windows. Bad move. So now the danger is that weird candle that I just saw, they're trying to establish it as footing. And if they do, in other words, if they stay above 587.1, now they have a platform. And look at the size of the measured move off of that platform. You break out of that yellow line because of that dip they just did earlier. That's masterful job from the bulls, by the way. We have $1.20 of upside, measured move. So the machines will say, oh, we broke out $1.20 of upside. So they'll start tracking 80 cents to $1.20 of upside. But you need to confirm the breakout. If you get to the red line and then fall below the yellow line, they would trap some bulls. But that's the upside. We'll get you the green line. So again, green line versus blue circle. That is still the outcome for the next few hour or so. I don't know if they can last an hour. Green line or blue circle. Hell, let's move the yellow circle first. And I'll take these arrows out. Those two arrows were to just explain what was that. So green line, yellow or blue circle. Nick, holding XLF puts 10 days out, 50, 54, and 48. 49. I did not sell anything against. I'm down 57 and looking to make a decision soon. I want to wait for a pullback at least. You can sell puts, but you're selling after the fact. So I see what you're saying that, Jafar. I do have puts on the XLF, and most likely they'll red, and you probably followed me into it, but I did not add, and it was a starter position, and mine are for June. I'm not selling on mine, but I I am down a lot, but if I were to quadruple it, which would be the appropriate size for that trade, I wouldn't be down a lot. So I don't know how big of a trade it is for you. Is it a full size trade? Try your luck by selling a put after the fact to chase it. Like, are the XLF red today? No, not by a long shot. So I have a bearish XLF harmonic. Why don't you use the HOP on that one, which is 51.46? As long as they're below 51.46, they might drop back down to 50.80 or 50.40, 50.50. That is a 5-minute candle comment on the XLF, which actually should matter to the S&P because the XLF is 13%-ish of the S&P. How accurate is that yellow line we put earlier? We're splitting hairs. It is at an all-time high, is it not? What is it, 10 cents away from it? I don't remember what was the all-time high. Yeah, so what are you asking? Yeah, the debit put spread idea, but you should know that Palantir robs you overnight. There is no more bifurcated stock than Palantir right now. The fans of Palantir are unreasonable. It's not a bad thing. They're unreasonable. And therefore, valuation does not matter. The answers you will get from them are emphatic, and you cannot short that with confidence. So one day you're making money, the next day you're losing money. And it could be big and big, both of them. So don't go all in. Whatever idea you have, let's say you decide to buy a put spread on Palantir and you want to put $1,000 in it, put half and wait. I'm a fan too, but I'm a short at these levels just because of price to sales. I have a thesis. You can tell me I'm wrong. You can tell me you're wrong when the P&L changes. When the sales growth catches up to the growth of the stock price, I will shut up about it. Until then, it does not deserve to be 5 times almost more expensive than NVIDIA, maybe 4 times now after the NVIDIA spike. It just doesn't deserve it. So if I'm an investor in the stock market and I have money to put, I'll see, okay, I want a growth stock. All right, here are the growth stocks. Okay, which one is the most expensive? Nope, not that one. Well, it is Palantir. It is the most expensive stock probably in the S&P of the legitimate stocks, Got a cheap short above here and a cheap long 50 cent cheaper from here. So you're buying a strangle of sorts? Is that what you have? I don't remember you ever trading strangles. Hi. Melissa, I had baby birds last year twice in the same nest, the same parents. This year, nothing. My friends have them. This is the opportunity right there. You see that? Higher lows, tabletop on the yellow line. You break out. You can totally measure the move. First move is $50 to 0.5 on the SPY. 0.5, sorry. So 5 SPX dollars, $50 in dollar terms. And the larger part of it I mentioned would be that green line up there, maybe even a little bit higher. Well, the SPX is pinned at 59.15 all morning, minus 900, if not 1,000. I can't see it from here. SPX, that's what they want, negative gamma. They want to get there. So I'm saying they go there, And what happens next? It'll be like phenomenal if they go there, because that buries JP Morgan in a lot of money. So let me see if I can give you how much money that is. We're talking calls, SPX 250630, 5905. Is it called SPXQ? I'm trying to guess the name. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to go find it. Yeah, cute. Yeah, SPXQ. There they are, 40,000 contracts waiting for you. They are now $130. I believe that's double the price they collected. I'm not sure about that. I'm estimating they collected about half. So 40,000 times $60 times 100. Again, this is a hedge. So they don't mind losing money on insurance, right? But they probably would prefer not to. The VIX has not wavered. Higher highs, higher lows since the opening low. The VIX futures dipped and recovered. So the VIX and the VIX futures have bottomed. So if somebody wanted to buy protection today, I say it with confidence, you would not be making a mistake to buy protection. I don't think it's easy to short the market using the VIX, except if you're selling puts. And I doubt that they are providing us with much premium on that front. Let me see here. If I go to June 18th, there's not much premium. So you'd sell a $16 put or a put spread, $12. Okay, you can sell a $16 credit put spread. Collect, if you do 10, you collect $200. That's as exciting as it gets. 1550, 1450, you collect 12. Not very exciting. They probably won't fill. So 16, 15, or 16, 14 and a half, you collect $200, $250 if you do 10. Now you're risking $800-ish. Depends on which one you do and depends on the fees. So you collect $200 and you buy a call for $300 or $200. You buy the call for July for the VIX. So now you bought protection and you didn't even pay for it. Or you shorted the market and you didn't even pay for it, as long as the VIX doesn't go below 16. And the cool thing about the VIX is it is cash settled, so there's no assignment. So, okay, let me put that trade on paper. The idea is for somebody that knows what they're doing. Is to finance something that you want to buy. So the concept is, if I did sell credit put spread, I sell a put, I buy a put. They can be whatever you want. For June, that's the June monthly for them. And I buy a call. So this is probably $50, $60 out of pocket, whatever it fills at. Don't do it on one order, but that's the concept. I sell something to buy something. As long as the VIX stays at 16 in the middle of June, whatever I sell the call for between now and then is profit to a degree, minus $50. So if I'm looking to buy protection on the market, this will be a sane way of doing it. This way I'm out money, but not a lot because I financed it by shorting the market. Shorting the market. So I'm going long the VIX in two ways. Sell a put spread saying it won't fall below 16 and stay, and buying a call. This one has unlimited profits. If the stock market drops, the VIX spikes, you're long and you didn't pay a lot for it. If the stock market continues on higher and the VIX drops below 16, you might lose some money. How much? If it goes to 15, you're at risk from 16. So you can roll it, do whatever you want with it. I don't recommend that you do anything drastic today. We are in limbo. I think the best thing to do with the VIX right now is to cover your portfolio. If you are long the markets, why wouldn't you just rent a little bit of protection? It's very cheap and it holds up its value very, very well. Linda, no, they are in a breakout. Once they got up above the yellow, they confirmed the breakout. The target is at least the numbers I said, 0.8, 0.7. So that one, the first target, gets you a new high. And if we make a new high, we have, folks, $2.50 to $5 of upside. So I trump your 290 and I say 293 today, 593. 593. If we go to 590, 93 is in play because we can go as much as this. This is now a targeted move. It's a measured move. Call it what you will. The breakout is here, the breakout is here, the breakout is here, and the breakout of the opening range, all put together. This is where the bulls have to put it into gear to get there so they don't get trapped. And the drivers are, let's see, mega caps. They are unrelenting. I'm looking at the XLF. They have failures on the left. So it's not the XLF. Yes, it's good relative to itself, but the mega caps are in full-blown breakouts. The RTY is trying. The small caps are trying. Let's take a look at the heat map. I'll zoom out to everybody. The Russell 1000. The scoreboard is we're up almost 2% on the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ is where the money is, which is fair. Apple is where the money isn't, which is also expected and fair. So now the worst case scenario for the bulls is that they go back and retest the support they just broke out from. And then they have the opportunity to do this and go to not only 590, but 593. I wouldn't buy calls for it, but you guys are holding calls. Enjoy. The targeted move from here, target 1 is inside this green line. Target 2 is 590 plus. I wouldn't hold calls, but you guys can. This is an unreasonable market. I would be out of my calls, but don't follow me. I'm not momentum trading here. You guys are. Oh, runners. So we did close some. Thank God. That's what I was asking earlier. What do you mean, come on? I asked you flat out, and you said no, all in. If I had that, I wouldn't roll it now, no. If I had a credit call spread, I wouldn't roll it now. I can only go by what you tell me, so I can't guess or read minds. And for definition, for me, a runner is I closed everything except leaving what I can leave to go to zero, and it'll still be a great day. That's a definition of runner for anybody else that's reading this. So if I had made $1,000 and I left $300 on the line and it goes to zero, I'm okay. Wow. Wow. We have not learned the lesson. Wow. Holy moly. What do you mean, how did we find it? They publish it. It's right there. Look in the options chain. Go to June 30th, go to 5905 and see how many open calls there are there. Those are JP Morgan. In fact, they were $10 lower. They opened it, and then the same day or the next day, they rolled it up. They closed them and reopened them $10 higher. You can find it. Just go to any options chain. It doesn't matter what broker. You don't need any special tools. Go to the contract in question, which is the quarterly contract. They do this once a quarter. June 30th, they sell calls and buy put spread. The day after they sold the calls, or 2 days later, we had the market correction. Their put spreads were all in the money. I can still see them there. I don't know if they rolled out of them or not, but they must have done something else to pocket the money, because they pretty much can influence what the market does because they have all these experts on call. They can deploy them across CNBC and disseminate a rhetoric that suits their book. Any trade on UNH? I don't understand the sector, so I'm staying away from UNH, but technically it is falling into a support zone. Unfortunately, it is now through 320 or 300, and then the next one would be 280, 240. So I don't know where they're going to stop selling UNH. The P&L is good. The price action is sucky. They lost footing, and technically it's broken. The support zone here is okay, but wide, and there's a backup support zone that's also around 280, 240. So I can help you trade it, but I don't want to trade it myself. If I wanted to own shares and I've been waiting for a long time, I could sell a put or a put spread, but the spreads are very difficult to fill. So tell me if you have a position in it. I'll help you manage it. The best thing to do is, if you are lucky enough to have own shares, 100 or more, you could sell covered calls. Those will probably fill really easily because they're single legs. You know what I hate most about this is the way the crash happened, the recent correction. It happened so violently that most people got stopped out of their positions. And the worst case scenario, if somebody that sold the call covered after the crash. So this recovery does not help at all. In fact, it doubles the pain because it makes you realize the loss. Whereas if you own the shares and you went on vacation and you didn't listen to the news and you didn't sell your shares and you didn't get margined, nothing happened. You got back to your entry price. But if you panicked and you did something, boom, now the opposite is making you lose more money on top of what you did. Which is why, this is why I say you might do better not listening to any news than listening to all the news. Because they will make a mountain out of a molehill. That's the business model for a news agency. So when CNBC says, oh, we have a CPI report, it should be okay, it doesn't matter that much. They won't say that. They'll say, we have a CPI report and God help us. You have to see it because, oh my gosh, there's going to be monkeys flying out of boxes on fire and they're going to try to reach the moon and go to hell. So they try to drum it up to get viewership interested. Nobody says, maybe you want to watch tomorrow's show, it's going to be boring. No, you want to watch because we're going to bring somebody and you won't believe what they have to say. They drum it up, right? So they make you overreact to everything. On the way down, how many times did I say? It's not that important. No, you don't understand, Nick. This time it's a lot bigger. I understood exactly what was going on. But nobody listened on the way down. And now nobody's listening on the way up because it didn't matter on the way down and it doesn't matter as much as they're making it out to be on the way up. It's not incrementally good news, it's the elimination of bad news. Right, Climber. But here's the thing: we have 5915 gamma 1000 800 900 something like that all morning. They want to get there. So on the back of who is the question? The mega caps are in it. I don't think the financials can do it. If they could, Berkshire would be going. So give me Berkshire. Berkshire represents the market to me. If Buffett put together a company that is solid, that is broad-based, and has the biggest tech company on the planet, Apple, Berkshire is a good representation of the market. But we have a few momentum stocks that are not expensive. That's the problem with shorting up here. I don't argue with the expensive tech sector. The top 7 companies are not expensive. They're okay now. They were cheap 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I'm not worried about momentum traders. I'm worried about the people chasing momentum traders with investments. They're going to get buried again. I can just see it happening. By the way, that green tick right there is the stop point on this harmonic that it drew itself, that red W. The one with the white arrow. The white arrow will be null and void if they get to the green one and close there. So it's a game of inches, as they say. So we can do so long term then. Yes, sell credit. The way I'm shorting is longer distance trades, right? I'm leaving plenty of room for error. Yesterday, I showed you one out to December. I've showed you one to November, October, June. Pick your battle zone. You're going to have a huge problem or opportunity into 90 days from now. So yesterday, they kicked the can 90 days. So I would imagine 3 weeks before the 90 days. So 60 days out, we're going to have a rehash of the tariff talks in the way they would say, oh, we have a clock now ticking because the headline yesterday said all the tariffs are in at a lower level and they will kick up to higher levels in 90 days unless they reach a deal. That's the agreement. So if they don't do anything, we will tick up on tariffs to a maximum of 145%. So 30 days before that, I'm going to imagine CNBC will start coverage of the deal, progress on the deal, on the tariffs. But that's 60 days from now. Now we're focusing on momentum because today we apparently kicked the can on CPI. I have no idea what the CPI said, but I'm pretty sure yesterday I told you only one scenario would cause a negative reaction to the CPI. and I said a horrendously bad number. I don't care expectations or what. That would be the only scenario we would have a negative reaction to the CPI. And they hesitated for a little bit, and then Nvidia took over. So that's where we stand with regards to headlines. Now it's a momentum thing, because there's no boogeyman. CPI is dead. Oh, PPI in 2 days. Powell tomorrow. He's not going to say anything bad. So June cuts, nobody's talking about it anymore. So we're all on board that I was right to begin with. We should have no cuts in this environment. We would be insane to cut rates at this environment. We would be absolutely insane. What was the CPI? No, I would not roll here. It's too early. But I don't have your portfolio. I don't have anything in trouble. Lower what, though? Let me go see it. Lower than expected or emphatically lower? Like absolute. There's no way the CPI is lower. Lower rates of increase. Let's see here if we can read it. Inflation year over year, 2.3%. It was 2.4, so it's growing 1/10 slower, still growing. And inflation month over month, it was shrinking and now it's increasing. Nobody pays attention because the expectations were higher than that. So the month over month is getting worse, but nobody pays attention because it's better than expected. Year over year on the core is no change. Month over month on the core is rising. So if anything, that's a worse number than last month. Yes. Because it's better than expected, we rallied. The numbers are worse than last month. Inflation is rising, and month over month, it's rising. The rate of rise is rising. So I would call it, at best, a push to bad news. But we rallied because it's not hideous news, which is what I told you would happen. We also have the Michigan report in a few days, too, which the market loves. So that's 2 days where the DAX doesn't give a crap about what the US does. That's weird. We went up 4% and 2%, and the DAX 0.6%, not even 0.5 total in 2 days. Am I right or wrong, Larry? That's weird. What is that stock I said I wanted to short in Germany? This one, DB. Who is this? Deutsche Bank. Oof, I don't know anything about Deutsche Bank. Do they have options? Ooh, no weeklies. That looks ugly. Today, 10 puts, 16 puts transacted. Oh my gosh, yes, there's a bunch of calls buried. I think it's worth a put. What did EWG do? I think I have a put left in that guy. I think they're the same trade. I'll try a put here. Maybe they'll let me buy it. Maybe not. I'm picking 66 days for no reason. I've never traded that, so I'll just buy one and see how it trades. The fills are horrible right off the bat. Oh my gosh, yes, definitely. Okay, I literally bought one. I'm like one of 13 transactions today or something like that, so I'm not doing more than this. KR is dying? Yes. Shh, wait, you spoke too soon. You spoke too soon. Because 67.7 is the number we're looking for KR. This is what the bulls want, and this is what the measured move is on the breakout from the yellow line. Let's repeat that. The white arrows are not what I think should happen. It's what the market wants to happen, because then the breakout from the yellow line would have been fulfilled. We also have negative gamma pointing to that line on the SPX all morning. My options interpretation is we need a $3 drop on the SPY, 30 SPX points lower. So now we have that. Maybe we do both. Maybe we pop and then drop, or drop and then pop. I don't think we stay here long. We have had a rising wedge like nobody's business in the last 3 days. And I mean it. Like, I watch charts all day, and this is extreme conditions. Only people who know what they're doing engage in the short term. And if you do, small money if you've never done it before, because it is definitely no joke. No, not target. 67.7 was a long wick bounce from yesterday. We want them to lose it. Then we accelerate lower about $2 to $3 in the next few days. I am sold calls, bought puts on KR, not backing down. That sucker is going to pay my bills for this month or 2 or 3. Just like Coca-Cola paid me. This one's going to pay me too. And I am still short Coca-Cola through a runner. Ryan style. You keep coming back and asking me why. Does it really matter why, Maria? Why not? Why were we falling? Why were we going up? What does that make a difference? It doesn't make a bit of difference. Now you're putting emotions into it. Trump's empty bragging. That is an emotional, personal bias into the stock market. Don't do that. You're going to cause yourself some grief. Just trade the facts. The facts are in the P&Ls, and the facts are in the charts. Those are the facts. No. Your understanding why would help you nothing. It would not help you trade any better. If you know the facts, understanding why somebody else is doing something does not help you do anything. Blathering is a fact. I don't know what that is. That is not a fact that affects the company make money or not. Not a fact. Let me rephrase. A fact that changes the bottom line of the company or the ticker you're trading. Somebody saying, I think Apple is going to $3 million doesn't make Apple go to $3 million. That's just somebody's opinion. Whether they're blabbing or not, it doesn't matter. Okay, no need to discuss empty promises or not. The stock market is not the political sphere. Guys, separate them. Back off of that conversation. It does you no good. Focus on the facts. The fact is the VIX stops falling. The fact is I have white arrows that show you where the technicals lead this market today. The fact is we are overpriced up here. We are overbought on all metrics up here. The S&P is twice its value. All these are facts that I can put together into a trade. How? I would short this market cautiously, get out of the front of the short-term bus that's coming at me, and build a fortress out in time, because you have to change the metrics in order to accept higher levels and sticking. No one's going to buy twice valuation of S&P and have conviction. At the first drop of a hat, they're going to be out the door like they did on April 7th. That is a fact. That always happens. You build valuation to a certain level. The hands that are in that thing, whatever that thing is weak. At the sight of trouble, out the door they go. And then in come the strong buyers. So I used Palantir as an example. Somebody that buys Palantir at 119 will be out the door so quick on the red ticks here if they come. Somebody that bought the dip at 85 is much stronger investor They don't care. They're in at 85. That's how you build a sustainable rally. These dumbass rallies that are 25% with no red ticks create nothing but future headache for somebody that doesn't know how to trade fast and thinks they do. Because we go, boom. Go, boom. You don't allow, it works great for me, but most people can't do what we do. Forget the growth rate, man. The stock price growth rate is unrelenting. If growth rate stays the same and the stock price goes ballistic, the price to sales ratio grows and grows beyond sustainability. I asked somebody to go out and give me the list of all the stocks in the S&P 100 that have a price to sales over 50. Let me see if the stupid Claude can do it. I need a list of all the stocks in the S&P 100 that have a price to sales trailing. Let's see if it can come out with a statement. Sam, I'm doing a search. Let's see if I can yield anything. So there's my white arrow. Let's see if they buy it. Let's see if they hold the yellow line. It should be a no-brainer. What's different? What's different today than yesterday? It should be a no-brainer. What's different? The VIX, higher lows and higher highs from the opening low tick of the day. And they are in sync. The difference today is the VIX, the level of fear. The fear is represented by the market makers. That's who the VIX is. The VIX calculation is what the market makers are pricing in options a month out, which means they now see a stabilization in the level of the VIX. We cannot get cheaper than this. So we cannot get less worried than this. Oh, it's going ticker by ticker. Oh my gosh, it's doing ticker. NVIDIA, Adobe, Salesforce. It collected price to sales ratio of 50 times or higher. Okay, what the hell? Okay, don't tell me all the ones. For companies, the average price to sale ratio of the entire S&P is approximately it's 2.8 as an average. Weird. Is the so Palantir did not make the list. It must not be in the 100. My bad. It says you bring a good point. Let me check on Palantir. So NVIDIA is the highest price to sales. That cannot be. Adobe 9, there's no way. Adobe, I thought it was in the 30s. Palantir is added to the S&P and has been one of the best performers. 340% as... Yeah, these are not accurate. I would not rely on them. Anyway, I doubt that there are too many stocks above 50. Price to sales. So the reason why I harp on it, so the growth rate of the company is solid, 30%, I think, give or take. Okay? Totally amazing. Not as amazing as NVIDIA, but amazing nonetheless. And then the stock price is more amazing, like this. Okay, so as long as this is widening, it becomes a dangerous thing. You need to normalize it. Two ways. One, spike the price increase, like NVIDIA did. Or two, drop the price, which is what Zoom did. Or both, to narrow the gap. So price to sales on NVIDIA is 20-something, 22. Price to sales on Amazon is 4, but Amazon no longer grows 30%. You can find 30% growers that are price to sales 10. Netflix, go look at Netflix price to sales. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Let's go see. I need to build something that gets me. I love that metrics for growth companies. So let's see. Growth company, it does not grow 30%, but solid double-digit growth. So it's not a comparable. 50. No, PE. 12 on Netflix. Still not a comparable. Let's say 24. You can see how the price to sales of 100 is 5 times more than the best company on the planet. Is the tariff issue over? You're asking me. There was never an issue. If you ask me, I told you that in April. The tariffs are not an issue. We did it in 2018. I told you the whole thing, how it's going to happen, and it played out exactly how I said it would. It's a nothing burger. So yes, they officially kicked the can 90 days. They kicked the can 90 days. My answer was business will find a way because nobody wants to be out of business. Not China, not the US. Business will find a way. Palantir price to sales is not 88. No, it isn't. According to this one, it is not 88. Let's look at it. 97. And that's as of yesterday. And that's trailing 12 months. So these are facts, no forward or anything. Price. I don't look at the PE. The PE is not my concern. The company is growing hand over fist. Why would I want them to be profitable? I want them to grow as fast. Yeah. Price to sales, current 95. Where did you see 88? I clicked on your link. I'm looking at it. Price to sales, 94.65, current. I don't know where you saw 88. Enterprise value revenue, 88. Price to sales. Thanks for the shortcut, though. That's amazing. It's always good to verify. Sometimes TradingView is not the most accurate. That column is called current, by the way. I cut off the top. So they did the white arrow, and they tried to do the second arrow, so they can do the third arrow. This is Palantir. So I told you that there would be a dip and a pop to get to that, right? And the target can be this much or this much. I think 5915 SPX is what they seek. Let's see if they can get it. Against that, we have like 589 does not have a lot of resistance. So if they can clear 88.50, they can get to 89.30 relatively quickly. 5900 SPX is the heaviest call contract today, which should present some resistance. The only index that doesn't have downside pressure from calls is the IWM. And it too is also up 0.57. Based on the upside, we should roll the 59. I waited this long. I'm not rolling right here. It's still pretty early. I feel like if I roll now, or if I roll in an hour, it should be about the same. But I don't want to force anybody into my own risk appetite. Okay, so let's go get the math on it. 5,900. 250514. If you're new, rolling means you close a position and you open it for the next day. If I roll it now, it's about a $20 to $30 expense. $25 to $35 expense. Check that. Credit. I'm sorry. As long as it's a credit that big, I can wait. But if you do roll it and it's a credit, let's say you had 5, close 1. So close 5, open 4. And open a credit put spread against it to balance it out. But as long as it's a credit, it's a big credit now. 185 to close, 190 to close, 180 to close versus 230 to open for tomorrow. I don't want to roll. Who the hell is Chauncey? Oh no, I'm not going to wait for anybody to stop doing anything. I have enough information to trade on my own. I'll be on mute for a second. I need some water. I'll be right back. I'm disappointed. I came back and no new high. What? Until they stop working. Okay, so now we might have a target of target 2 is 586.41. 586.41. That X, A, B, C, D. Target 1 was met. Target 2 is this one. So those of you on YouTube, you can't see my scribbles, I don't think. So we have a harmonic, that red W. Target 1 is this area. Target 2 is this area. So now we have a bunch of circles. I just wanted you to see what we're working with. This orange line, this pink dotted line, dashed line, is months and months old and incredibly pivotal. We had the mother of all ghost prints that day. I don't remember what date it was. And then since then, it's become a pivotal zone. We've had it as support and resistance. For us to cut through it like this today is unbelievable. I would not be in calls here. I would miss out on that 59.15 hunt because the difference today is the VIX. It's not funny to me. I'm incredibly on edge, like incredibly on edge. Like, for example, the NASDAQ rising wedge right now points to a loss of like 21,000 would be a target. We are at 21,256. 256 points of downside on the NASDAQ NDX. So extrapolate that to the QQQ. Yesterday, I refrained from shorting the NASDAQ. I might want to throw a couple of credit call spreads here. I'll do November. Let's see what they offer me. Not much. 615. $615 credit call spread for November is about $45. You can go lower if you want to collect more. And I chose November because I don't have a lot of trades in the NASDAQ in November. If you're short and struggling, don't do that. If you're long, a bunch of stuff, especially techie stuff, why would you not? It would be bad trading and investing if you don't balance your books. This is a very reasonable way to balance your books. Yep, November. The delta on that, 11. You'll probably get $50, $55 if you have patience. What I do is I open a small position to make sure that the quote is correct, and then I size up to appropriate sizes. Don't do this if you're struggling with credit call spreads in that period of time. It's a standalone thing. Another day, another green tick. Ooh-wee. Hi, Harry. So somebody's asking. So if I wanted to short this with puts, it's hard to short with puts, but you make a lot of money. In a little bit, you're going to have to switch to tomorrow's contracts. I don't have anything near support, Jafar. I honestly don't know of any good stocks good stock near support. None, zero that I can think of. You can TLT, no, but that's not a stock. I honestly don't know. So this green M should bring us back to 587.80. Should, as long as we're above the second green circle. I need to write up the day. How much is the debit on that VIX calls? July. What did we say? 18, 225, 18, 17, 275, 275. I'm typing, so I'm not looking. Okay, so they bounced hard off of a very important Fibonacci level on this green thing. This green candle does not surprise me. Watch for the push higher. They're going to try. I'm almost done. There we go. Drum roll at 587.80, 587.90. So since we got to this line perfectly, actually, I will move it over to here to remind us where we failed last time. We should do another scribble right here. There should be a seller at the letter X. And if we make a lower low than 586.9, if we come to the pink dashed line, we're probably going to finish the first green circle. So let's take out the circle up there and leave the letter X. On the VIX, okay, so I want to make it clear. The VIX trade idea is not a trade idea yet. Okay, so the VIX is pretty low at 17 dot something, but it's not a bargain basement low. It makes a better hedge position for a portfolio than a full-on short, okay? So it is not bad, better than buying puts in the market, buy calls in the VIX, because they hold their lunch better, especially if you buy them at or in the money 60 days out. I hope everybody's clear on that. I don't think the VIX is a good trade most of the times. Every once in a while, it becomes a no-brainer. And when it comes a no-brainer again, I will be resetting in size. We're not there yet. It's a bargain, but it's not a no-brainer. If you want to retrade CrowdStrike, you can reopen the trade I shared. For 10 days, they'll pay you $50 to $60 per credit call spread at 480. That's how crazy the stock market is. 2 days ago, that value was 7 cents. 7 cents. Now it's back to $60. What do we think of Tesla? Tesla. Buy, buy, buy. Buy, 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 buy. Oh, you're serious. Okay, so 10 days. 10 days. So at the end of next week. Tesla right now couldn't be more quiet. Could not be more quiet. It has typically gone to 335 or 334 or 308 from these levels. And where is it? Buried in the middle of whatever is considered a value area of sorts. Folks, we are lined up for I hate to say it. This is not easy. It's not easy. It is shocking how comfortable you guys are being long. And I'm speaking about the whole market. You are the market. But it's shocking to how comfortable we are in the concept that this totally makes sense. We need consolidation. There is no consolidation. Therefore, there is no solid lines of support or resistance anymore. There's just swings, I should say. I know one thing. I know I'm missing a piece of the puzzle. So on the CrowdStrike, I don't want to recommend it. Okay, we did it a few weeks ago and it had a lot of time on the clock. To restart it now for 10 days, yes, you might win, but you might take some heat. That stock is crazy. Okay, so I'm not fighting the trend with today's contracts, okay? I'm fighting the trend using very logical levels. Do you see the difference? Thoughts on Carvana? I will look at the charts. I don't like the Carvana stock at all, so my thoughts will be technical purely. I think Carvana is a scam. Yeah, I don't know what you want. Are you asking because you want to go long, or is this an all-time high? No. Even worse. How about I tell you this is not an obvious entry point, and shorting it, you're trading with these fools. Do you want to? I think it's easier to short the market. Look left. They bought it at 380. They sold it at $20, if not 14. You really want to butt heads with these fools? There's no conviction. You're just fighting the GME traders. So get out of that mosh pit. If you're, I mean, it's escargot at this point, right? It's bone marrow. Ripped from the headline. That's a lot. That's an inside joke on so many levels. I mean, I eat pretty much everything. Escargot don't gross me out, but bone marrow does, and I didn't know it until recently. It's just not food, folks. It is not food. It might be medicine or health benefit, but it's not food that you order off the menu. Dogs love it? No, they love the bone. Not sure they love the marrow, do they? Anyway, that's an inside joke. Carvana is not for me. It recently rallied on a headline that I think was misleading. If somebody would explain it to me, I would have better opinion. So I know the car industry inside and out. I used to be a dealer, so I know it. The used car market, especially, which is what they are. So they take any car, right? They buy any car. Dealers do too. If you go to a Lexus dealer and you're driving a 1965, 1985 Toyota, whatever Celica that has two wheels and missing door handles and whatever, they'll buy it from you for whatever they offer you, but they will never put it on their lot, right? They wholesale. So every dealer has about 6 or 7 wholesalers regionally. The wholesalers rotate from dealer to dealer every week. They have their stops, okay, and they go from dealer to dealer and they pick up all the cars that the dealer does not want on his or her lot. Okay, they don't frontline these cars. I bet you Carvana had a headline that said they want to sell 3 million, but they didn't say what. I'm guessing vehicles. I wonder if they count the number of wholesale vehicles in there. Because if so, that is not a retail client model. It's a wholesale market which has no margins whatsoever. Yes, KR. Yes, go, Mo Flicker, go. So that's my caution with that headline on Carvana that people chased. 3 million what? I don't remember the exact number. I think it was 3 million. If it's 3 million vehicles, I want to know how many of those are wholesale. And if it's a lot, get rid of that headline. There's no margin in these wholesales. Let's go check on Carvana's margins. They got better. The cash from operations is what really got better, which is my beef. Look, there's no margin. They do well with their operating margins, but their COGS. Let's see, maybe this tells us wholesale. Okay. 21% of their sales are wholesale. So I wasn't that far off. That's a lot. They have 6 billion in debt. I remember getting surprised by their balance sheet. Nope. But they do have some assets, so half their debt. If they liquidate, they'll end up with only owing 3 billion. And their cash is positive from their operations. So they're in much better shape than, say, a couple of years ago, but it's still not a pretty P&L. Not worth my money at all-time high markets, all-time high Carvana, or close to. Not an obvious point of entry. Nope. People on YouTube, any requests? They're going to try to get to that X, by the way, one more time. What was the QQQ? I posted it in all the chat rooms and emailed it out. If you have access, you can have it in writing. But 615, 615, you can go to 610, 600, whatever you feel like. We are at 515. So let's say you start seeing the market coming at you, buy a call. Hell, you can buy a call now and ride the wave. And the call would be free. Like if I did 10 of these and I collected $500, I can buy 2 calls for June and enjoy the rally. And I would have no money in those calls. They're trying to get to that X. And if they do, highly disappointing from a bearish perspective, because the bears are not even defending any lines. And look how well the bulls defended their one wick. You see that 3 times, pop, 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 just above the dashed pink line. And then look how easy it is for them to breach that prior fail and get to that X. So if they do get to that second green line up there, that white arrow will be finished and then some. So keep your eye on one of the mega caps to explode even higher. Apple's been quiet. Why not Apple go to 217? That would do it. It's a party. We have a tag teaming bull situation like the old school, where let's say Apple is asleep, don't worry about it. Nvidia goes. Nvidia falls asleep, don't worry about it. The financials go. Hell, yesterday even the healthcare contributed. The healthcare sector today, which is supposed to be super bearish, is even miles away from yesterday's lows. So if you take the couple of days, the healthcare sector is even green with some of the worst news possible. Pepsi had news. How is Coca-Cola reacting to Pepsi's news? Let's see what Pepsi did today. Down 1.1. I think Pepsi caved to our health czar. They said they will get rid of all of their artificial whatever by the end of this year. That's a pretty aggressive goal. I did mine for November. You want to do for your June's? Fine. I had a hole to plug in November, so I did that. I think I already have some for June in some other tickers. So I looked at my spread, and November was empty. 615. But if I was struggling with credit call spreads right now, I would not add to my problem. I don't understand. Yes, 615 short, 620 long. I don't understand. You should be taking bullish positions, not bearish positions. But that's your portfolio. I have a. Yesterday, I did something fun. A couple days ago, I play cards with my in laws, right? And nobody likes to deal. So I bought a dealer. I didn't even know they existed. It's hilarious. It's a little cube. You put it in the middle of the table. You have 4 buttons for 4 players. And you tell it how many to deal per player and how many players. And it goes foop, 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 foop. And even deals in the middle of the game. You each have a button. You push it, psh, gives you a card. It's crazy. Totally fun. Thank you, Amazon. You need to do more than one trade, and longs aren't recommended. Longs are absolutely recommended if you're already short and losing, or you be less short. You need to hedge your position. I'm just going by what you're saying here. It sounds to me that you're in pain in shorts. It doesn't make sense to add to your pain. But I can't judge because I don't know your portfolio. I'm just going by your comments. But at least you're taking it out to November. So it still doesn't change the fact that if I'm losing, I don't add to my losses with conviction. This rally is bigger than I anticipated with too much conviction. I did not see the mindset change so quickly because I didn't think we were that stupid, but it turns out we are. Collectively, we have a very low IQ. Well, I was telling you, if I had short positions and they're getting beaten up, I don't add another short position. If anything, I would buy something long to hedge my positions. Otherwise, if the market continues higher, your pain is going to add and grow and grow and grow. The only reason why you would add more shorts is if you're playing a thesis and you have a high conviction. I have high conviction in nothing right now. Everything is medium conviction at most by design. Anybody with high conviction right now doesn't have a lot of experience because they haven't been trading 20 years. I can guarantee you, anybody with 20-year plus experience, they're seeing things that are unheard of just a few years ago, and now it's the new norm. Like saying that we will never go back to the 4,000 levels. What? Okay. From an all-time high to say we were never going to back to the 4,000 level is shocking. So I'm just saying, if I'm short everything and losing, the last thing I need is another short position. I would stay out the next short position, and if I'm forced to do a trade, it should be a bullish position to stop the bleeding. Yes, that's what I say. I know what I don't know. Actually, I know that I don't know what I don't know. Like, I'm confident I'm missing a piece of the puzzle. I'm very confident. If not, I'm winning. I'm going to win. But if I am missing a piece of the puzzle, I'm leaving room for error. Like, you guys come to me, is it time to roll? Is it time to roll? I lean on science. Time and science. I have time. Okay, I go to science. What is science? Math. I look in the deltas. The sold calls from this morning, the 5,900, is a 34 delta. At near all-time highs with that many hours left. And the roll is a credit of about $1. I'm not compelled to roll. But if you do want to roll, you can make your problem a lot smaller because you're getting a credit, a dollar. So if you opened a credit call spread and you collected 50 and you're rolling and you're collecting 100, that's $150. So now you reduced your maximum loss by $100. But you're dragging the pain to tomorrow. Oh, you hear the beep, 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 beep? Everybody jumped into the Discord. Did something break out in the news? What time is it? No, 9:30. Solid, solid. It's funny. 130 is like $1.20 for that Palantir. It sneezes $1.20, of course. 130. Why not? 140, 150. Let's go. 180 by the end of the week. Hell, 215. Let's go. 215 by next Tuesday. Who goes higher? Let me make that argument for you. I will make that argument for you on the chart. The argument is this breakout, somebody's going to go out there and tell you has $34 of upside. 161. I can justify it on the chart. So if 150 for sure, why say 130? Seems not necessary. Trimmed KR, not me. I'm in it to win it. Today, 130. Right now, like 5 minutes from now, it's 129. The high. In this environment, 130 seems like this week. It's like me saying, yeah, we're gonna have an earthquake in the next 6 years. The same type of a statement. Anyway, up and away for sure. God help the buyers up here. Okay, so that's a second push. Look how easy these pushes are coming. Why are they stopping? Why are they stalling at the X? I mean, I know why mathematically they should stop there, but they don't seem to be very logical today. They need to burst. So I'm watching the VIX. This is where the VIX fell apart yesterday in situations like this, where the bulls have a breakout opportunity and a breakdown opportunity. And then the VIX is stabilizing, looks like it's finding footing, and then out of nowhere, the VIX collapses. Taking a shot at Tesla, let me see. 2540. What are the other machines saying on that? I haven't checked in there. Okay. Good luck. How much does it pay per contract? If you've collected enough money, you might want to buy one call. Yeah. You paid. Oh, I misread it. I got it. I thought you were shorting. Debit call spread on Tesla. Ooh, okay. Let's double check. Let me see if I can get you some serious levels. 322 is what I'm seeing next on a very short-term basis. 321. Those are super fast comments, not a swing trade comment. That rising wedge makes it impossible to read anything with certainty. Yeah, good luck. I can tell you 324 was a target. 324 flat was a target. Be careful, man. Be careful. Wow. Those are short-term comments on Tesla. Don't buy or sell the stock. Microsoft is underperforming. It hasn't even gone to that 452.5. Maybe that's what takes the market higher. Microsoft goes to print pre-open. If you can hold a drum roll, there should be something exciting here. What level is advisable to add to the XLF? Raul, I need information, man. I just can't add it. So what I did yesterday, Raul, I bought one put in Bank of America. Got it out of my system. At least I have a harmonic there on a daily level. I can justify me buying the put on that specific stock for that specific reason. The XLF has Visa, MasterCard, has SPGI. Maybe they rally, maybe they don't. Berkshire is underperforming. It might rally to 520 to catch up. That's the XLF. At least with Bank of America, I know it has a bearish harmonic, so it's science. So I have a reason. So I only took literally one put to get it out of my system. At the money, July, I think. I do not remember it. So 1 second. July 44. Oh, and it's down 20%. So there you go. It's got 66 days. 1 day in, I'm down $50. $320.8 should be the next target on the S&P if they don't break out right here, right now. So they did the white arrow, both to a T. They overshot the down one. There should be a dip on Tesla, by the way. 320.8, Tom. Watch your longs there. Oh, and there we go. They just broke it. Never mind that. The 15-second broke. The 30-second, maybe you can argue is still alive, maybe. So now you're looking at 324, Tom. That's the prior fail, and 324.50. Wow, they took the breakout. Nice. Yeah, gutsy. I thought when I first read your trade, it said credit culture. I was like, wow, okay. Things are so good, even oil is breaking out. Even the thing that the president says don't buy, they're buying. He says buy stocks and sell oil. They're buying stocks and buying oil. So look at this here. That has not broken out since this morning. They've tried twice. This is all the ETFs, most of them. This is the mega caps. It's a big stock bonanza right now. It is not a 1% market. It is a giant percent. Nvidia up 6.5%. I mean, how can you fight that? And it is about 6% of the market. So the impact of that alone is huge. Half the greens of the SPY can be attributed to one stock. Bottom, no. Not, I mean, it could be, but the downside target is a zone from here on down to 310-ish, and then there's a backup zone behind it. So if you're asking because you're already long, yeah, you might have a support zone, but it's not a hard line in the sand. So a bottom tells me it cannot go lower. I think it can. You can think about it differently. I say I don't like it. I don't like it. What do you mean I don't like it? Where did you hear me say I don't like it? I don't know what you guys hear. How we rallied today. Oh, well, it's not right the way we're doing it. It's creating future losses for people who are not momentum traders. That's what makes me anxious. You saw the decimation during the April correction. Luckily, this group was well prepared, but even then. Right. No, I did. That is the normal. And 134 is one standard deviation measurement on that breakout. 133.6. 133.6 would be one standard deviation beyond the typical 130, 129.8, I think it was 129.9. So yeah, they hit I forgot that from early this morning. They hit that. Just collectively, the stock is setting up future massacres in financial massacres because a lot of people are trading news, and those who are trading news are coming in now. They got out at the lows. They're coming in now to rinse and repeat the same problems that lost them half their accounts. So focus on the VIX right now to see if this is yesterday. If it's not yesterday, this may not turn out to be like yesterday. So we had a 4% rally today, a 2% rally today. Check that. The Nasdaq was up 4.5 yesterday, 2 points today, 6.5% up in the Nasdaq in 2 days. All because what? What changed? In the earnings ability of Nvidia, nothing changed. Yeah, I am happy. I just get anxious. You're confusing my comments with being upset with anything. I am not upset. You guys make money. I'm happy. I'm upset in the way people are perceiving this rally and their behaviors. The shorts are digging in their heels and they shouldn't. The bulls are jumping in and they shouldn't. That's why every morning I have two lines. Bulls do this, bears do that. Read those lines, very consistent. The bulls should be not piling in. They should be momentum traders, tactically trading in and out. They're not. They're loading up. The bears should be tactically shorting. Don't put your back against the wall with short-term shorts. And short things that you're going to win on. I have 4 things that I'm short this week. All of them are super green. Coca-Cola, Gold, KR. There's something else. Oh, Berkshire. And something else. Palantir is losing me money. but it's a long distance short at 185. And it's not locking up a lot of money to do it. The target today has been 5915 on the SPX for the last 2 hours. Close to 2 hours. The options chain normalized. They bought enough puts to where we don't need to drop a lot. So we don't have a lot of downside pressure anymore, which is weird. That is a huge development in the last 30 minutes or so. Huge development. The QQQ have not normalized. They need to drop $2. So maybe there will be a rotation where the top right-hand box falls and they'll pick it up in the ETFs. Maybe. Let me put the RUT on the bottom right-hand corner to see what the small caps are doing. And, I know. We need to go below the X or we're going to 590. My box on the left side. Where we are is confirmation. So close. My goodness. We have not had a double tap of this box in a long, long time. Focusing on the VIX futures and the VIX. Oh my gosh. Like I'm watching a fight that is so boring to most people, and I'm so excited about the levels. It's not even funny. It's hilarious. Like, what is he talking about? I'm talking about this box, this, and that. If you confirm the breach of this box, which is above the X, you give yourself this much of upside at least from here. That's my take. That's Nick's trades. And then on the VIX comment is it yesterday or is it not? That Palantir put I took is destroyed. We shall see, my friend. We shall see. We shall see. So a lot has happened. First of all, I shorted Palantir going into that put and made money. Reshorted Palantir and made money on a sold put. And I kept the put, but I had sold put against it. So the put is red. Net, I'm green on Palantir with thousands of dollars on short calls at 185. So let's say Palantir never falls and doesn't go above 185. I lose nothing beyond what I already booked in profits. That's the scenario. And it being out in time, it takes 2 days for me to get all the money and then some. 2 days of downside, if we ever get downside ever again. Of course, we will never get downside. But if you're curious about my put, it is red. Overall, it is not red, Palantir. It's still a net green for me. So I'm reinvesting winnings. And if it doesn't break out of 85, it'll make me money because I'm short thousands of dollars up there and hundreds of dollars here. The put was, what is it, $900, $500? What was it? I don't remember. Hold on. Palantir. It was $700. The put itself now is 350, not counting the puts I sold against it. So it is red. It was $700 to $720 to buy. The calls I sold are losing money, but those are way up at the 185. So as long as the stock doesn't blow past 185 and me not do anything about it, those will die in my favor. So then one of those calls will pay for the entire put to green. That's the situation in Palantir. I will keep you updated. Enough if I forget, ask. I need to visit the McDonald's short to see if any of the shorts are maximum gains. If so, I'll close them. They are not. They still have some value. For example, $16 left in a September 365 call sold. Call spreads, if you did that, $16. Sold call is down to $60 from 400. The January short is green. I will leave it on. Nothing to do with Mackie D. Kroger. Finally, the puts in Kroger are up 28%. The puts standalone. Never mind the sold calls. Very good situation to be in Kroger. You can leave it if you want. Let's see what I did here. 718. So I'm going to Kroger update. Is now 310. I'm trying to tell them that it's bookable if you want to. So I'm telling them that in a market where making money with puts is near impossible, someone that is bearish in their portfolio should consider locking some of those profits in Kroger in, even though they're only 11% for them. For me, I must have added. I lied. I did add once because my entry price is 240, unless I had a better price entry than them. Let me see how I wrote it up. Actually, maybe he wrote it wrong because I don't remember it being like this. No, those are my comments, 2.78. So I must have bought it for, I wrote it for 2.7, and for some reason it says 2.4 in my account. And it's 3.1 now. Very weird. I can't make sense of it. I'm choking on something here. Long put 516. I'm trying to see what I wrote on Coca-Cola. Anyway, it is what it is. We booked it. I think. Tesla has a bearish harmonic. Not that they listened to the last one, but this one is on the 1 minute, so maybe it holds a little bit more water than the other one. The other one was on a 15-second chart. The ones on very short-term charts, the guy that invented the study says he uses the term reactive. Reactive meaning you take the setup, but you have to make decisions at a much faster rate, and you have to react to other things that you're tracking, metrics. This level here should be pivotal. Look left. This was the high of the morning. Are you seeing how we buried that 1 second tick? This was 1 second tick. 5:13 a.m. report. CPI. This white box was 1 second. Look how wide it is. $2.20 in 1 second. Boop. No. The red tick alert is not to be feared unless the VIX loses its lunch. So the VIX is still not decidingly different than yesterday. So far it is, but it's not decidingly different. Like it hasn't showed me behavioral changes. It just shows me level changes. That's it. I don't trust it. So I can vouch for 18.8 VIX in the next few hours. That's $1 of upside. That would mean there has to be a move in the stock market comparatively. So that's the drum roll. Can they get to that potential of 1850 to 1880? The setup for higher highs is a lot easier because that's what's been going on for 2 weeks. ADT, great price performance. You can say that to every stock in the market, basically. Great earnings, great fundamentals. Should I wait for the bounce and buy for the long term? ADT, let's go check. Is this the security company? Wait for the bounce. Bounce of what? It's been nonstop rallying. 29%. What bounce? I don't understand the bounce part. So if you're asking me if you should go long, you sound like your mind is made up. I'm not going to stop you. For me, if I look left, there's all of this above me. Good trend. How about you trade the trend? Somewhere on a dip, maybe? Just like this one, or that one, or even this one, or this one. If you can't wait, just take a starter position in shares and call it a day. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, wait for a dip. Maybe, yeah. I mean, it's ideal to get a dip, but if it doesn't and you hate yourself, I don't want you not to be in it. Just for the record, I am no longer long the XLV. We had a credit put spread, debit call spread combination. The debit call spread we closed a long time ago. The credit put spread has been profitable today. I closed it. I left money on the table. I don't want any part of it. It's $3 away from the sold put. In this environment, this stock should be demolished. Instead, it rallied. That is crazy stuff. Absolutely bonkers, bat schmutz crazy. I am at a loss of words. What is going on with the level of conviction that the market have? Maybe if I listen to more news, I will get more courage like you. Ha 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 ha. No, I don't feel like I need the news to understand what's going on. It's about dollars and cents, right? Okay. I know what the economy is doing. And the turnaround of the US economy is a little bit slower than the headline. So, a president that is intent on fixing the economy in the US, I respect that. but it takes a long time to bring manufacturing back into the country, and it might have an adverse effect at first. I'm just speculating. But the headlines, we brought a $600 billion deal. Okay. Is that the same deal as before, or is that a different deal now? 600 seems to be a very magical number. And the guy that posted it on Twitter needed to put all the zeros in, not say 600 billion. They had the word 600, comma, 000, comma, 9 of them, dot 00. They even put the decimal points for emphasis. So we are being pumped by a salesperson. The president is the ultimate salesperson of a country. That's the function of the president, just like the CEO's job is to tell us how great it is. The CFO's job is to tell us, yes, but we don't have a CFO. We have a CEO and a bunch of smaller CEOs around there, like Basant. What? I mean, what? Maybe we need to just take the opposite trade. You don't need to do anything. You just need to sit and wait for a few days. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking anybody to do anything. And if I'm long everything under the sun, it's okay to take a bearish position, especially if it's way out in time. If you cannot get yourself to sell a call spread that I just did and you're long stocks, you do not know how to manage risk. I'm saying it to your face. If you're long every stock under the sun, and you find it hard to take a bearish bet that is a blanket bet miles away, doesn't require any special skills, you should admit to yourself that you don't have any risk management process at all. If you cannot buy a VIX call that is guaranteed not to lose a lot of money, to balance your book, to keep you stronger bull, you should probably practice better risk management. I'm just saying these flat out. Look upon yourself, look inward, and ask yourself, am I this guy or girl that he's talking about? If I have 15 stocks that I'm long and I was super red and I'm super green now or back to flat, and I still cannot balance the book, I'm just sitting there hoping, I think you're just getting lucky with whatever results you're getting. You need a better process. There is not one professional that is one-sided in the portfolio. In fact, look at your delta of the account. That should tell you. You either have super green days or super red days. So yesterday I had a green day. The day before that I had a really green day because I think Coca-Cola or something. Today I have a slightly red day because of a couple of trades. So I have mixed bag of results every day. Overall, I sell more than I buy. Therefore, I'm okay having that every day. Mixed results because everything expires to zero and I make my living selling options. If you're a person who has unbelievable days and unbelievably bad days, you need to hedge. That's it. Is Palantir? Are you kidding me with this question? Is Palantir going higher than here? How should I know? Is it going higher than here? I'm short for a thesis of it is way too expensive. It needs to be cut down to thirds for it to be not expensive. That's what I'm shorting. I placed my short to survive it. I bought a put that's way out in time. The put is down. It was not an all-in position. I have not added to it, and I have not stopped out. And I explained to you why not. I have not lost 35% yet. I'm playing with house money, and I sold some puts against it. The put itself is down 50%, I think 57. But my portfolio, the way I worked it and shared it, it is still a viable trade. The fact that Palantir is up 10% today doesn't change my mind. That second white arrow, the third white arrow, I'm going to change the color so we can speak to it. The blue arrow is a no-brainer. I don't know why they're not doing it. They're either out of breath or they're just lining up a bunch of bears to do it like they did yesterday. So those who are in a 5,900 credit call spread, if you want to roll right now, it is still a credit. I don't blame you, especially if you have to leave or if you're off hours. The way to roll it is you're going to get a differential of about $60 if you close it now to open it tomorrow. So if you have one, you're going to get an extra $60 of credit. A couple of things you can do. You can roll it and up, move it up $5 or $10, make it no credit. So then it gives you more breathing room. So it'll be at 59.10 for tomorrow. It doesn't solve the problem. It just makes the problem a little bit easier without increasing the amount of money at risk, because you collected 50, you moved it to tomorrow and a little bit higher, and you didn't pay anything. You still have 50 of credit. The maximum loss is still $450. If you have 5 and you roll it and they're going to give you $300 or $400 to roll, that's the credit of $60 times 5. Then you roll 4. Okay, because you close 5 and you reopen 4 and you get no credit. But now you have a smaller problem. Okay, that is what you can do. In addition to rolling, what sometimes it's good to do is to sell a put spread and collect another $50 for tomorrow, which means that now you've created the problem for tomorrow. You still have it, but you are balanced a little bit more. You took the other side as well. So now you've collected $100. You reduced your maximum loss, especially if you rolled smaller. And but now you can lose on a dip tomorrow too. But that's fine. If you're worried about the loss, it's the loss, not the how to lose. In my hands, as long as this is a credit and as long as I'm not in the last 90 minutes of the day, I personally wouldn't roll. But I have skills and I don't have a large risk, then I can sit and watch it. But some people have to go. There are some people on a different time zone where they cannot manage. So they're stuck rolling now, which is not the end of the world. It's just not ideal. I've spoke nonstop since 5 a.m. It is now 10:12 because this is that kind of day. This is that kind of week where everything I say needs explanation because it sounds combative and bearish and all of that. I'm not trying to tell you to short the market. I'm trying to tell you to not be as enthusiastic about a 20% rally from here as people make it out to be. When you're at all-time high, what is easier, to go up 20% on the stock market, not a single stock without a new headline, or down 10% or 5% on normal days? Everything is stretched to the limits with a shrinking economy. Jobs are maximum. House prices maximum. Unemployment minimum. We are fully employed. P&Ls stretch. They're not growing as fast as they were before. That is a fact. Look at all the mega caps. They're still great reports, but they're less great than before. We have a few exceptions, but Microsoft, Apple, Alphabet, Amazon, all growing at a faster rate than before. Not a disaster, but not upside. What the heck? I've got something biting me here. So use logic. I wouldn't argue with that. 334.6 and 344.6, those are your numbers on Tesla. 334.6 is typical move from Tesla on any day. I told that to Tom earlier. It was sitting in the middle. 320 was the exact middle of the range. 334.6 would be typical move looking back 30 days on average. 344.6 would be one standard deviation, which would be considered, quote, normal. The one standard deviation through the bell curve is normal. In this case, I wouldn't call it normal, but that would be another line you would look at. That's fine. I'm giving you numbers to that alert. Let's see if I can pick up on that alert style. Tesla. What is that alert tracking? prior day high, but I think it cracked that earlier. Holy cow. I'm going back and back and back and back. I'm in April 4th trying to find another tick that happened at this level. Okay, we're in March 12th. I still no lines on Tesla at these levels. Whoa, my God. Okay. February 25th, the last time we traded here on Tesla, and it was a massive ledge. Look it up. February 25th, the stock fell 10%. The next day, another 6%. 10% or the 10 points? Sorry, 8% and 6%. So 15% over 2 days on the 25th. That's the underbelly of it. Anybody going long Tesla right now as an investment or a swing trade, not a breakout momentum, anybody that's going, okay, I think Tesla's going to have a great day for the next couple of days, this is what you're taking into. This is February 25th. There's nothing since then to now. Nothing but blank space. No other ticks. These are them. Clearly, whatever system you're tracking that alerted you is a momentum based on yesterday's price action. It's probably a breakout from yesterday's high. That is one hellacious place to go long from a swing trade opportunity. The put buyers made it very difficult for us to flush lower. And if we do, we bounce today. So now the ongoing trend has an easier time to go. Like, why have I not priced out that blue arrow up there? The tangible target now is $1.20 from there. So 589.60. Let's round it. 590. Why not? 593. They confirmed the breakout above the letter X, which is the brown box on the left, twice already. No, I would not short Tesla. I'm just telling you not to go long Tesla. If you're a swing trader, you're going long at a place where it had a hard time. Ryan got an alert to go long. That's probably based on yesterday's price action. Because if you look past yesterday's price action, there's nothing on the chart that I could see. I didn't zoom out. Yep. So this is Tesla. Broke out from yesterday's. But it's inside these candles, which were very pivotal. Look how violent this area is. There is no way this is a starting point for an investor. But it can go to 370 and not change a thing. I just said no. And you're struggling with a credit call spread. You shouldn't take any bearish positions. None. Zero. That's what I was trying to say earlier to Maria, but my words came out wrong. I think I have friends that do it. We tend to try to trade our mentality. Like, I have friends that own businesses, and they want to trade the market like their business. So let's say Middle America or Main Street America. That's the best way of saying Main Street America, like stores in your malls, local stores. Let's say Main Street America is struggling. That doesn't mean Wall Street is struggling, because Amazon doesn't, and Apple and Microsoft, which are more than half of the QQQ, 1/3 of the S&P, they're not making money off of mainstream America directly. So there's a lag, huge difference in time between what happens on Wall Street and Main Street. I'll give you an idea. If somebody comes out today and says, "Oh my God, we're going to have a huge recession next year. What happens to the stock market?" Whoop, they start pricing in the recession right here, right now, because that's what they do. That's the normal behavior, which by definition makes Wall Street and Main Street not in sync. You don't need to walk away. You just trade longer dated. We're not out of ideas. We just don't need to make them work today. Well, depends on your portfolio, Maria. I shared my ideas. I've shared trades for December, November, October, September, June, May. I've shared them across time. Everything I shared for May is dying for maximum gains. And now we focus on the June and the July. I bought puts, I bought them for July. Starter positions. A week is better than a day. I don't know your positions. If you're stuck in credit call spreads for the next 3 days, a week is too soon. You need to go out further and you need to balance your book. I can't be in credit call spreads and nothing but credit call spreads. That's crazy. So don't dig your heels in. That's what breaks up accounts. You dig your heel in. Like if I showed at Palantir and I was right and I didn't add, and then it goes against me and now I'm wrong and I add, what? What kind of behavior is that? So when I was right, I didn't add. I lightened up by taking the opposite side of selling puts. I didn't sell enough, but at least I acted in the right manner. So I'm not digging my heels. I'm not adding to Palantir today. I'm not chickening out of it on one tick. I'm just trading the price action without any emotions. My emotions are coming from the comments in here. They're raising my anxiety levels on what's going to happen down the line to people who are chasing this rhetoric. Most people hear the positive rhetoric and they get in, they wait and they wait and they wait and they wait and they finally capitulate and follow everybody. And then they get the rug pull. That's why anxiety level goes up. Not because I'm having a red day. I'm having a fantastic year, so who cares if I have a red day? I'm tempted to cut my Coca-Cola short. I want to check the chart, like completely. Man, that harmonic is pointing down to the low 60s. But I respect these candles. I mean, the sell-off in April was whoa. So maybe this sell-off just unusual. But that's the one side. The other side will say, we never went there. So ignore that. Never happened. So maybe a bounce here. The easy money has definitely been made. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut Coca-Cola out completely. 110% at least on each leg. I left one, so I'll close it, especially that I have KR. You're welcome, everybody in puts in Coca-Cola. This is where it's going to collapse. That happened last time. I booked my profits. They were like a 2 or a 4x, and then it went way more. So I just became less bearish, tiny bit less bearish. On what? Resistance on what? On what? On what? On the SPY. I literally have arrows of where the SPY should go. Morning comments, yesterday charts, Sunday videos, all I communicate my levels. So for today, we are at a high of the day, so there is no resistance. You can't even say that. I can argue for 595 target today. The resistance is a month and a half old, and they're not listening to it. There was resistance everywhere. They're cutting through it like it's not there because we have an artificial catalyst. We have the president of the United States literally telling you to go out and buy stocks. And at the same time, he says short oil and even oil stocks are going up. So we have a market that is rallying based on rhetoric. There's no resistance. It's going to keep rallying until something breaks. Hopefully, they'll come to their senses. The resistance is the April 2nd, March 26th, March 6th levels. Zoom out, that works for the S&P. Does not work for the QQQ. The QQQ have blown past everything that I would imagine is resistance. Let's revisit it now. The Qs are, they blew past, that's April 2nd and March 25th. That's early March. They've even blown past the support levels that were lost. That was from all of last year. You know, the December, you remember the December 20th disaster? The worst day of 2020, 2024 was 2018. 2020, we made a lower low. 2018 was the worst day of the year. We bounced a little bit on, 1218. 1219, we bounced a little bit. 1220, we made a lower low. This is higher than that level. I bet you anything. Somewhere in here. So here's the all-time high. Here's the QQQ. 4.6%. If you put the SPX picture here, it looks a little bit different. Oh, not anymore. The last 2 days. So you're telling me that there's no weakness inside of this? Show me where that has happened and held in history on the S&P. A gap like this that held in history without a give back. So everything from here to here is resistance. You want levels? Take a peek. Whatever you want. We just passed a really important level right there. We're going into another really important level. 6,000. Really? Are we going to call them resistance? No, we're just exploding. 25% probably from here to here. Biggest day in history right here on the 9th. Just shocking behavior. So I wouldn't count on where the resistance is. Check on behavior versus levels. It's not about actual resistance. It's about what they're doing. And body language from other things. Lean on the bond market, lean on currency, lean on crypto. Crypto led up here. Lean on the price action in the VIX. What are the market makers pricing in for a month out? So the VIX gives you a peek at the level of uncertainty for a month out. One big beautiful bill. Which ones, BC? Which ones? What have you seen? What have you not seen published on Simple Stocks? How can you say that? Every day. Every day. I've just sent emails on Simple Stocks. Did you get it? No? Go check your website settings. If you're a member of simplestocks.com, you got an email from me earlier today. Twice, actually. One in the morning before the market opened. One yesterday, middle of the day. One middle of the day today. Sunday night, you got a video from me. Monday morning, you got a pre-opening note. Monday day, you got a mid-morning note, midday note. What do you mean you haven't seen? If you're not getting emails, log into your account and make sure your email is correct. Or check into your spam box. And on any given day, if you don't get the email, log into the website. You will find them sitting there waiting for you. It's on every chart I post. BC, open the chart today from the SPX. It has these lines on it. This chart was SPX, this one. This chart was in your morning note. This very chart with these boxes and these lines. That orange line is the 5905, where the calls have been sold by JP Morgan.
There are participants.
This chart was in the opening note. So they cut through all of these. Gap, 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 everywhere. Every green box is an open gap in the chart. And not, I don't mean gap. These are fair value gaps, scientific method of measuring open orders that are unfulfilled. Most of them fill eventually. Now we have the giant box, which is not tradable from the perspective of lines, but rather I don't start longs going into that red box. I could have said the same thing going into this red box and this red box and this red box. So do what you want is what I'm saying. I know what I want. I don't want to chase the rally. There we go. Finally. Okay, there we go. Blue arrow. Thank you very much. Get it out of the way. Moving on. I look away 1 minute and they do the whole thing. So from here, I said dip, pop, and break out. They took their freaking time. They dipped twice, 3 times, and then finally did it. The VIX, no change. That's weird. That's different from yesterday. Bye, bye, bye. I said about the emails because they said they didn't see them published. I just want to make sure that they have their settings correct. If you are a member of simplestocks.com, not the Discord, not Benzinga, I send out emails every day. 1, definitely. 2, maybe. Most days it's 2. Sometimes I have nothing to say. Like nothing really happens. I don't have a trade. I just don't send an email. Yeah, thank you, Steve. I send it to myself, so I know mechanically the email goes out. When I get my own when I don't get my own emails, I worry. So you see what happened? Earlier I said maybe these guys cool off and these guys kick in. Look at what happened. That's exactly what kicked in. The ETFs. So the big caps slowed down. The ETFs exploded. Maybe the financials, yep. The industrial's been strong all day. The XLV found the bottom. Even the XLP is bouncing off the bottom. The XLP, that's what Coca-Cola and Kroger's are. So for the record, I closed Coca-Cola completely. I just now remembered that I might have an XLP trade. I do, and it it is credit call spread and it's 0. I will close it. It is probably not 0, so I'll pay a couple of pennies to get it out of it. Okay, so that ticker is crappy, so it's not a real quote. Never mind that. That's weird. Buy the close, sell the close. Okay, yeah. I have a credit call spread in the XLP from a while back that financed debit puts at one point. I'm out of that. I am on simplestocks.com and I don't see resistance level. Did you click on the SPX chart? Okay, you don't see levels? Show me the chart. Let me go and read it. Okay, 1 second. Okay, you see it. Okay. All right. Well, I'm here all day, right? So for somebody that just reads the note at home, the SPX will give them an idea of what's going on. You're active. I'm here all day. I put lines, all the lines on my charts. The X was a resistance. The white box was resistance. The green line was resistance that they just broke through to get the blue arrow. All day I share the resistance and support. I'm confused. We are in a zone that we haven't touched for weeks and weeks, so we don't have resistance right here. Yeah, you can if you want to. Let me see. You're at 5,900. It is a zero cost to roll. You have 2.5 hours to go, zero cost to roll. This day is going to be the end of me. The energy it's taken out to maintain the levels for today is just on another level. Need more caffeine? Probably not. The credit call spread at 5,900 has a 50-50 chance of working out right now, right? Because price is right there at it. If you roll it now, you say, okay, I don't know what's going on here. Let me deal with it tomorrow. You close it today, you open it tomorrow, no cash out of pocket. You get to keep your $50 credit or 60, whatever you collected. If we drop today, you can close it. But if we don't, you deal with it tomorrow. At least you don't go to maximum loss today. Outstanding result given the circumstances. Less than optimal result, but better than taking maximum loss. All right, YouTube, we're going to end it. YouTube, 2-minute warning. You're welcome, Harry. Up and out, it will cost you a little bit. That means you might add a little bit to your Excel. So if I move it up and out and I pay, so now I have less credit in my pocket and not much that better odds. Like if we gap up, I still am in trouble. You're not chancing it. I just expressed to you why I wouldn't go up and out. If anything, I would go down and out to collect more credit, lower the odds of success. So if I'm right and we gap down tomorrow, I'm out of trouble. But don't do that either. I would not move it up and out because you can't move it up a lot. without paying a lot. And that means you're actively paying money to stay in trouble without any intelligence. Like, I don't know why we should drop tomorrow. But if I get no money out of pocket to do that, I would do that. Like, if I can kick the can and not pay for it, I would do it in a heartbeat. But if I kick the can and I have to pay for it, what's the point? I don't know why we should drop tomorrow. I just let it die today and take my chances. So I would roll sideways, not up. If you don't want to chance it, sell a put spread. Yeah, 334.6, I think I said on Tesla. That is the typical move. Typical move. Looking back 30 days. When Tom asked me, I said this is an unusual spot where Tesla is, straight in the middle. So one standard deviation is 344.6. So how about we say Palantir 150, Tesla 400 today? This way, I get top call on both. Coffee? I don't need coffee. That's for sure. Are we at 59.05? We are, 59.05. They've been hunting 59.15 all day. They're taking their sweet time. So post, SPX, 59.05. JP Morgan, sweating. A red tick will do better? No. I'm going to double check this VIX. Is it quoting me correctly? Is the VIX showing 1793 on your screens? This one hasn't moved an inch in such a long time. It still has 1855 and 1890 as two potential targets. It just needs to go above 1808 on the VIX. So if you want to sell a call spread here instead of buying a put, that is a viable trade. Let me explain. I collect $240 to sell a call spread in front of the SPX right here for today. And like yesterday, and book it right on a couple of ticks like that, it becomes a lot cheaper. So for example, the credit call spread I was just talking to you about at 5,900 is not quoting me clean. So I'll wait. Is kind of what we want to do. You want the short? No, actually right above that. Here, we've done it. We did it yesterday. So we are at 59.15 maybe. The 59.15 is $130. That's not enough. So that's so cheap. 59.10 maybe. When I was saying it, that would have paid more. What? That's weird. Freaking. Okay, Tasty Trade, absolutely the worst quote on the planet. I have to exit out of it twice a day in order to get a clean quote. Sorry, but you get my point. We did it yesterday. If you collect $220, $240 to sell a credit call spread right above current price, you risk the balance of that to 5. So you would risk $260. And it's like buying a put and risking $260, except if we don't fall, the put loses money, but the sold call spread if we don't fall, you don't lose money. You just need a small dip. Weird. I'm getting a $120 quote on 59.10 credit call spread, and okay, never mind. I had it logged wrong. So 59.10 is only $130. So they want you at 59.05 to collect $200. 185 even. That's weird. Why so cheap? I mean, selling a call spread right here should bring in 50% of the value, at least 40% of the value. What am I checking for Tesla? What am I checking for Tesla? Tesla is reaching a level to where it does it every day. You entered at T20. Okay, you're asking permission to book 10% profit, 20, 30. How much are you up? You don't need my permission to do that. If you need my permission, you're probably not qualified to trade Tesla like that. What was the reason you took? The resistance. There's nothing. February. Everything above here is resistance. If your trade is a swing trade, like for a few days, well, okay, that's a matter of speaking. Everything above here is Tesla resistance, but it's back into February. So it's too old. If I took it as a trade, I would hesitate 0% to book it. If I took it as an investment swing, you should consider the fact that you're running into a difficult area to sustain on a continuing basis. But having said that, I can say that about the market in general. So use your own skills to manage your risk appetite. I would be out of Tesla. But I don't know if you traded it as a breakout or as an investment. As an investment, I have no business telling you what to do with it. As a breakout trade, the easy money has been made. Okay, so the easy money has been made. The second target above here is 344.6. That is a scientific number. It is one standard deviation of its normal move for 60 days, 30 days. I'm giving you the numbers and you decide. And there's no resistance in the way for a breakout because it's old. All right, YouTube. Bye. Rudely hanging up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Goodbye.